Hey guys, welcome to the Solution Architect channel. Today is going to be a little bit a long video, but I think it's necessary to show you the whole flow of how we send data from the Azure IoT DevKit sensor through the IoT Hub. We're going to use the IoT Hub as a gateway, and then we need to then pull that messages using some sort of tool, and we're going to use Stream Analytics on Azure to pull the data from IoT Hub, and then we're going to stream that data then from the IoT Hub to the SQL database. Okay, we are now in the portal for Azure. If you want to create a new IoT Hub, then we go to create resource. You can either search for it here or go to Internet of Things, and you select IoT Hub. And I'm going to use a resource. If you don't have a resource yet, it means a resource is just a storage account. I have a few already on here that I'm going to use. You can create one on the fly as well. Good practice to choose one region and run from there. I use West Europe, and then the IoT Hub name. So let's call it IoT Hub. Okay, and you can go to next. You can scale it if you want. I'm not going to use the 400 messages. I'm just going to use a free tier for now. The basic tier it's less as well. It's €8, but there's some disadvantages using the free tier. You cannot go more than 8,000, which is okay. We don't want to do that right now. And then you can review and you can create. Okay, so now it's complete. So we will go to our resource. Just to note quickly, there's a few things that you can do here. What's important to note is your access, your shared policies will be in here. This is the different policies that's automatically assigned. If you click on this, and you might not see everything here, is you have a shared access key, and you've got a connection string. It's quite important to understand that there's a connection string that you have to enter when you use your IoT sensor DevKit to connect to the IoT Hub. The other thing that's important here to note is that you can add IoT devices here. And I will show you how you add a new device here, and you can also configure IoT edge devices. And in a later video, I will show you how you can connect edge devices to your IoT Hub. Okay, so we're back in on Azure, and you go to your IoT Hub that you just created. And what we want to do now is add a device. There's several ways of doing this. You can do it by command line. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to use the web interface to create a new device. So new device, you give your device a name. So there is options to create self-signed certificates. Don't do that. Just use the normal out of the box. And that's all you do, just to create your DevKit device. And you'll see immediately that it created a IDE. If you click on this, there's no modules add, which means that you can create a module that watch just the messages come from the IoT device to the IoT Hub, and this is how you link that. Also note that you have a primary key, a secondary key. You've got a connection string, which is important that you copy this connection string here, and you'll use this connection string to connect the device to the IoT Hub. In order to upload code to the IoT DevKit, you need to download the software for this DevKit to be seen as a USB driver. So you go to this link will be down in the description as well. You go to this site and you click software download. I've already done this. You click the software, you download it. This will also then ask you for a license agreement. Do you agree? And then we'll ask you to fill in details. I'm not sure why, but I've done this already. And the software that is download, I'm going to show you, looks like this. It's a MX chips driver. If you have 64-bit, you run this. If you have still 32-bit, you run this one. And this will install the driver for you. Or you can just run the Windows USB install bat file. Now you open Visual Studio Code, and what you need to do now is, I've already added the extensions, but what you need to do is go to extensions, and the first thing you need to install, you search for Arduino. So I've already installed this. You just install this, because the code that you're going to upload is similar to the Arduino code, which is similar to C++. The next is what you need to install as well is the Azure IoT tools. So once you have that installed, there's a few configuration settings that we need to do. You can also install the Azure IoT Hub toolkit. I've also installed that, and we'll not worry about the IoT Edge right now. It's also nice to have the Azure IoT DevKit workbench, which will show you once you've connected your device. It will show you on this the window. Will show you later that you connected to the IoT Hub or not. Okay, so after you've installed all of those things, you go to File, Preference, Settings, and you can just type in Arduino. You look for Edit in Settings.json file, and you open that, and you paste the following inside here. There might be other settings here. Just paste it in the bottom of what you have. I removed some of my settings here, but I will add it after this video. But this is important to add, so you reference the Arduino URLs. Okay, and then you can save it. Just by exiting will automatically save, or file save. I have autosave on, so my files will automatically save. Okay, so the next step is to, on Visual Studio, press F1. Then you go to Arduino Board Manager. And you need to make sure that you install the correct board. So this is the MX chip, and mine is already installed, and you can select a version. The latest version is 1.6.1, and you can click install, and that mine is already installed. So you click that install, and that will install the MX chip. If after installation, you'll see on the bottom there of your Visual Studio on this bar here, you see MX chip is installed. And mine, because I've already installed a USB driver, normally comes up on COM3 when I plug it in. So that's the next step. So when you're done with your installation, you then press F1 again. If you don't see these examples on your Visual Studio Code, press F1 and you can go to IoT device and look for the examples. You select your chip and say this is the chip, and it will open up these examples. Okay, now what you want to do is, let's just select a very simple example. I'm going to click on open sample, create a new one, call it my IoT DevKit test, something like that. You can just put any name in there. And that will then create a new code for you. If you look at the left hand side here, you've got a few files that comes with your starter kit. You've got a header file, config header file. Not much happening there. Then you've got your utility header file and utility C++ code. And then you can read me as well if you want, but you've got the main code that's going to be uploaded to the device. Now there's a few steps that you need to follow to be able to do this. You need to make sure that you updated the firmware, and the way and you also need to configure your device, which I'll show you just now, how to connect it to the Wi-Fi. Okay, there's several ways and several tutorials on Google and on Microsoft website that shows you how to do this. You can either follow that or you can use my guidance here. So when you plug in your device, there is a B button, an A button, and a reset button. What you need to do to be able to see this on your Wi-Fi, so you can connect your PC to this device, you hold the B in and you press the reset button. That will then give you a config board on IP address 192.168.0.1. Okay, but to see that IP address in your browser, you first need to go to your Wi-Fi and see your Wi-Fi device is normally AZ. You click on that and you connect. And once that's connected, you go to your browser. I've done this previously, but just type in 192. And what you will see here is your Wi-Fi that is available to be connected, and you enter your Wi-Fi password. And once that's connected, the device will restart and will connect to your Wi-Fi. You have to set this up. I'm not using the IoT Hub connection string here. There's a different way of doing this as well. I'm going to show you that way. Okay, now go back to Visual Studio Code. You should be able to now be connected to your Wi-Fi. You might not, or you might have something running on your device or not. It doesn't matter. We're going to override that using this code. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your device is connected to your IoT Hub. And how you do that is you need to go copy and paste your connection string from Azure. So we'll do that quickly. Okay, so go to on Azure, go to your IoT Hub that you've configured earlier. You go to your IoT device that you added. And on the IoT device, when you click there, you have your primary connection string. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and then we go back to. Okay, now go back to Visual Studio Code. There's one thing that you need to do before you upload anything to the device. You need to press A on the device, hold A in, and then press reset. What you'll see on the screen is it will just say, give you an ID, and it will say configuration. Now that is the way to upload the connection string that is now ready to receive any configuration that you want to send to the device. So you go into Visual Studio Code, press F1, you look for Azure IoT Device Workbench Configuration Device Setting, and you'll see there's a few there, but we'll just use a connection string. Input the connection string, and then I'll just paste that in here, press enter, and you'll see configuration setting string complete. Now leave the device as it is at the moment. Now what we want to do, just simply upload this code onto the device. Now on the right top, if you installed your Arduino correctly, there's Arduino upload, and then there's just verify if you want to verify if your code is correct before you upload. This will take a few minutes. You click there and it will start uploading it. You need to make sure that your device is connected through a COM port. Okay, so what you will see now is that this everything is now uploaded. The device will restart and connect to your Wi-Fi. If everything works as expected, you'll see a blue light coming on that's connected to your IoT Hub, and that will start sending data to your IoT Hub. What you can do is you can click on this Open Serial Port Monitor, and this will show you what is being sent back to the IoT Hub. This messages that's going through to the IoT Hub. Now what we can do is let's go check. Okay, let's open up Azure, go into your IoT Hub, and you'll see that there's already messages, 14 messages that landed up inside IoT Hub. Next step is to read these messages and put it into a database. Okay, so now go back to Portal, to the main. What we want to do now is create a stream analytics job that will read from IoT Hub and then take that messages and put it into a database. So let's go start and create this. Create a resource. You can just type in stream analytics job, and you can start creating one, and you call it IoT And then you see I have the opportunity here to do it either in the cloud, which we're going to do, we're not, but you also can create a job that for specific edge devices. Okay, so when the Stream Analytics job is created, then you can open it in your resource, and this is your landing page inside the Stream Analytics. So there's a few things that you need to configure here to get this to work. You'll see you've got inputs and you've got outputs, and then you've got a query there as well. And the first thing we want to do is create the input to understand where are we reading that messages from. And there's add stream input. If you click there, you can get it from IoTHub, and you can give it a name and say input stream, and then you select your hub that's available. This is the one we created. Everything else is just default. This will come through as a JSON file, and you don't need any compression. Just save this as input. Okay, we want to create a SQL database. Go to SQL database, add. We need a resource group, and we don't have a server yet, so we need to create a server for that as well. Called database name is devkittdb, and we need to create a new server. Just make sure it's at the same location as your resource group. Server name IoT Dev Server. Okay, make sure you change this, otherwise you're going to end up with a really big bill. You don't want to use it for general purposes, you just want to have a really basic one. Just for testing purposes, 2 gig, it works out €4 a month. Apply. Next. You don't want see the endpoint right now. Just leave the defaults. Make sure you've got everything selected correctly. Make sure your region are the same as your resource group region, and then create. So that will take a while. So deployment underway, that will take a while, so I will stop and continue. Okay, so just to quickly show you on the SQL database, I created a script that this is the information that needs to be recorded from the IoT Hub that's been sent from the IoT DevKit. This is the table, so I just use this. I'll leave this somewhere as well for you to download. But this is basically the script that you run and create a table on SQL Server. Now we can go back to our stream. Okay, now what we want to do after creating the database is go back to our Stream Analytics job and go to Output. We're going to add the SQL database here. We call it Output Stream. So not sure if this is going to create a table for me. I don't have a table on my database yet, but let's see. This is the database. Let's see if we can just enter a table there, IoT DevKit table. What you need to now is edit this query. We need to make sure that this query get the input from somewhere and put it into something here. So let's just edit that. So we have our input stream. We call it input stream. So from input stream, and then output is output stream. So the names you gave those needs to be available here. You can save the query. I don't think test will work because there's no data yet. So that is your query. You can have filters here as well by using having, but we won't do that right now. What we need to do next is we need to start this job and then see what happens. When we start this job, I'm gonna plug in my IoT device so it starts sending data to the cloud. As soon as this job is created, then I'll switch on my IoT device. Okay, so just started my analytics job, and now what I will do is plug in the DevKit. And as I've tried this several times, so there might be messages still lying in this query. Okay, so you'll see there's message 1 is coming through now, so there will be probably more messages coming through. You go to your database, and then you go to your query, and there is your data inside your database.